Hi viewers, welcome back to this section and I still remain Ayomide Oladoyin. I've been your teacher and I have always mentioned that I am a social media manager, I am a poet and I am a writer. So in this section we are looking at how to write film or movie review. Yeah, I know we're very familiar with movie and most of us love to watch movies. But before I go deeply into the section rather, you can subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification button so that you get notified whenever a new video is up and you cannot afford to miss the interesting topics that you have to learn in writing generally. So let's go to the topic in proper. We are talking about movie review. Okay, the movie review is just a concise evaluation on a film's content and some formal elements such as cinematography, sound, lighting, and so on, and other important parts of movies. Now let's go to the components of movie review. Components of movie review is divided into two. We have the content, and then we have the cinematography, the form rather. We have the content and then we have the form. So what does the content has to do with? It has to do with the theme, the plot, the characters, the setting, the message that is in the movie, what the movie is all about. That is talking about content, the setting, the plot, the theme, the characters, those that are involved, the message, and the basics of the movie in general. So you need to have to determine the main plot of the movie when you're writing a movie review. You have to understand the plot, you have to understand the characters, you have to understand the setting, so, and you also have to include them in your writing. So let's go to the next component, which is the form. The form can be categorized into other parts. One, we have the cinematography. The cinematography consists of the aspects of the movie that deals with the way cameras are being driven and the work. We have to talk about the camera angles and the camera and the subject, types of shots that are being used in the movie. Is it a close-up shot, area shot, and all of that? So all of these have to be included in your movie review. You also have to have knowledge about them. So now let's go to the other part. The other part, we have the lightning. So the lighting has to do with the use of light in the movie, and using light has to it has various form of communicating effects to the audience. For example, there are some scenes that are shot without light or with low brightness. There are some that are shot in the dark. There are some that are shot in the broad daylight. All these have different effects to the movie and the characters that are involved. So now let's go to the other part. We have the sound. So we have, what is the relation of the sound to the image, specific scenes. There are some scenes that are of low volume, there are some that are solemn, there are some that are the sound also has a huge effect on the movie. So it is necessary that you include and you note where there are different lightnings in the movie. So now let's go to the editing. Yes, every movie you see has been edited. So definitely you have to be very careful. You have to you also have to talk about the editing. Is it a proper one? Is it below average? Is it excellent? Is it average? You have to talk about that. Now let's go to the costume, the props, and the sets. So are the costume believable in relation to the what, to the character, to the film content? Is the costume that are being used in the movie, are they relatable? Do they have a connection with the character and the movie content of the movie they are trying to shoot? So are the costumes particularly elaborate or understated? You also have to have an idea of that and include them in your movie review. Now let's go to the tips that you need and the things you need to avoid while writing a movie review. The first one is you have to have watched the movie at least once. I'll personally recommend that you watch the movie more than twice, because there are some scenes, there are some things you take knowledge of uh at the first point that you take note of at the second uh watch that you do not get at the first. Now, at the first, you are watching because one, you're curious. At the same time, your emotions are high. You are also trying to find out what is the end of the movie. So have you might not have close look at those uh those components of movie review that you need. So you have to watch more than twice. So the next one is express your opinion. Yes, express your opinion and support your criticism. So don't shy away from telling your readers whether you think the movie is good or is bad, or you are indifferent about it. So you have to tell your readers what your view is it what your view about the movie is, and the reason why you are criticizing the movie. You have to state the reason behind your criticism. So, number three, consider your audience. Yes, you also have to consider your audience view when writing your review. Knowing your readers can help you decide what elements of the movie you have to highlight. And you can also adjust your writing style to suit your target audience. So now let's talk about the last one. We have call out the directors, the cinematographers, and special effects. Tell your audience highlights or missteps of your cinematographers, your director, special effects. Call them out, and you have to include what are the things that surprised you, what are your expectations that were not met, what are the expectations that were accurate, what are the parts of the cinematography that was excellent. You have to include all of that. Now the next one is give your readers no spoiler here. Give your readers some ideas of the plot without including spoilers. You have to make mention to your readers what are the things that are about the plot. And as you are doing that, do not put too much of negativity or negative reports on the plot. So now the next one is study the professionals. Before you can write a good review, you have to have read and read and read over again a lot of reviews about movies. So I used to say something, practice makes perfect, and then a good reader is a good leader. You cannot be excellent at a thing without adequate reading. So you have to read very well to have exposure and learn more about review writing. Now, lastly, read, reread, rewrite, and what, and edit. You have written your review, read it again, and then you rewrite and you edit. It does not have to be perfect at first, and definitely it will not. So do well to read and edit your work. So now I want to brush over all the points that I've mentioned. I have talked about the components of email writing. I said they are in two parts, the content and the form. And the form has different parts as well. We have the cinematography, the lighting, the sound, editing, costume, props, and sets. So now let's go to the tips of writing email, on how to write email rather. Number one, read. You must have watched the movie more than once. Then you must express your opinion and consider your audience. Call out directors, cinematographers, and special effects. No, do not include spoilers. And then lastly, oh, second to the last, study the professionals. Lastly, read, read, rewrite, and edit your work. So till the next class, I am still your teacher. Bye.